14 to 15 days to build a habit, but it takes one day within the 14 to 15 days period to break that cycle and start over again from day one. All right. Um. Hmm. Welcome back to episode two of Within the Frame. Uh, yeah, I'm still working on exactly where I want to take this podcast, or the direction of this podcast. It's just it feels kind of weird. I know last week I didn't make an episode, and I'm not sure if I want to do it every week or every other week, or every Monday or every other Monday, just because like I just don't want to run out of things to talk about. But I don't know. I feel like I can talk about a lot of things, but sometimes I just feel like, I don't know if the topics are going to be interesting or not. But yeah, just last week, mm, I don't know. I kind of got overwhelmed and nervous in a way. Nothing bad. It just, like I said, it's something new. Obviously starting something new is not that easy. And honestly, I feel like I was just rambling too much on the first episode, and I was running out of things to talk about. But I also want to kind of go back to the previous episode about starting things, because I feel like I said, I was just talking just to talk, and there was no direction of where things were going with my conversation. But basically, going back with starting something as well, you don't always need to have the top of the line gear, or you don't, or usually the problem that people have is like, oh, I need to have this before I start this, or I need to buy this, so it could be professional from the start. And I mean, yeah, if you have the money for it, go ahead. But if you don't, just start on a budget. Like right now, I'm literally using my girlfriend's camera, which is a EOS M50, which is a crop center camera, and I'm using this Nano Yeti Nano microphone. It's not even like one of those Sennheisers. I think that's what they are, or like one of those podcast microphone. And I was like in that realm of like, hey, I think I should buy this before I start this. Like I mentioned before, that I wanted to get the Lumix S5 just so I could start recording my own stuff and probably buy myself a better microphone. But if I kept that in mind, I would have never started this podcast, honestly. So gotta work with what I got. And right now, I'm actually using, as you can tell, just like a really harsh light this direction. My girlfriend, she bought these studio lights a while back, and so we were just right here in my apartment, just checking them out because I was kind of curious what she got. And yeah, she left them here, so I'm using them. Yeah, and hmm, I'm not sure what's today's going to be. It's just I feel like there's so much going on in this month. Just realizing that it's it's already July, and and um and like a lot of people are not wearing masks, which is kind of weird for me. But yeah, it's crazy how we were pretty much in lockdown for a really good time, and it felt like we were gonna be, or we were gonna stay like that for a while. I mean, we kind of did for almost a year, and now we're all pretty much saying, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask unless you're vaccinated." But obviously, people are not gonna check if you're vaccinated or not, and people are just gonna not wear a mask because they were anticipating for this day to come. But yeah, for me, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Sometimes I wear it, sometimes I don't. Uh, it just, I don't know. Kind of depends how I'm feeling, but most of the time I might just be wearing it. It's just, I don't know. Kind of got used to it. But yeah, it's just like it's July of 2021, and it's about to be August too. So that's kind of crazy. And the way I'm not liking this lighting, I feel like I'm gonna just get some crazy looking. I also have this to, I don't know, at least help with how I look, I guess. I don't know. Oof, my bad. That wasn't kind of pleasant, but I guess that could stay and help in a way. But yeah, but still trying to figure everything out too as well. Like I live in a studio apartment, so it's not a lot of space. It's so cramped in here, and honestly, I'm probably thinking about moving my mattresses around, and hopefully that'll change the background for a bit. For example, like this window right here, it's yeah, I don't think it's helping at all for this video. It just feels like it's just so there. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. Mm, what else? I kind of do not know what to talk about for today's episode. I guess a quick update since kind of started with that, but I guess like a small update of pretty much what I did last week since I didn't do a podcast last week. I was just pretty much just working. Trying. I work as an auto tech, so I'm working at this dealership that honestly is not paying me enough to be there. Started there since April, and before that I was working at Pep Boys, and yeah, I was getting paid. It was a pretty decent amount, I would say. I was I was doing all right with the amount of money I was making hourly. And then when I went to the dealership, it I was dropped $1 less, which was kind of weird. But he did said like, oh yeah, like he has like this paying system that it's gonna guarantee us to make a little bit more than what we were making at Pep Boys. Yeah, that was cap. That's why I'm leaving that dealership to go to a different dealership, and the offer was pretty good. So yeah, I've already put my 2 weeks. So this month will be my last month working at that dealership, and then I'll start my journey at a new dealership and probably commit to that dealership just because talking to the service manager, there was a lot of things. I had a lot of questions to ask, and it seemed pretty promising, to be honest. Hopefully I don't get honey dicked because that's what kind of happened to me at the dealership that I'm at right now. But honestly, yeah, like even that, even my I was telling my girlfriend about it, and I believe it was yesterday. She screenshotted someone's Instagram story, and he was excited to go to the dealerships because every dealership or most dealerships they send out their technicians or the ones lube techs are pretty much the people that do oil changes, tires, brake jobs, pretty much like the simplest things. And I'm a lube tech, but like I'm not sure if it's all, but I would say some dealerships they send out their lube techs to school, which is completely free. Um, we're not paying for it; the dealership is, so they're pretty much investing into us. And he mentioned that he was at the getting training by the dealership, and he was in Maryland, and I'm in Delaware, so yeah, that kind of gave me a little bit of motivation, to be honest, just because I really like working with cars, but I don't want to be doing oil changes for the rest of my life. I actually want to do like bigger things than just changing out your fluids. I actually want to like do stuff with the engines, pulling out engines, swapping engines. Well, I just want to learn how to do modifications or performances. So I'll do that, and then just stay with the leadership for a bit, and then probably find a performance shop so I could just work there. Because obviously, everyone, as I realized, being in Delaware for almost basically a year, even though I got here since the beginning of January or the beginning of this year. um, yeah, I've realized that a lot of people here are really big into cars. Maybe because the state is so small, so you're always seeing like the same people in a way. It feels like everyone knows each other in Delaware, and I just literally just got here and just slowly getting to know people. But besides the point, yeah, it's just like wherever I go, I'm always seeing like just modded cars or just like really nice cars. Like I've seen Corvettes, Porsches. I don't think I've seen. Oh yeah, I've seen the Jaguar before. Um, what else? I've seen the Mustang and the Camaro. I don't know if I saw that already. But yeah, then you see like a few JDMs like Hondas, Miatas. I don't know they're JDMs, but yeah, then you see like Subarus and Nissans, especially the 350s and 370s. So yeah, that's why I'm just like yeah, I'll probably do that and just stay here in Delaware for a bit until I have enough money to leave this state. Just because I'm not sure where, but maybe I don't know, figure something out. Probably either go somewhere down south or more to the west coast. I guess time will tell. And but yeah, that's pretty much what I did this week, just working and getting my process through with the dealership. To the for the different dealership that I'm gonna be working for. And what else? I also surprised my girlfriend with a new camera. I got her an EOS R. Um, yeah, just because like I said, I was borrowing her M50, and I just found out that it was a crop sensor. So if anybody that doesn't know about cameras, if you're gonna buy a camera, keep this in mind. Crop sensors and full frames. Crop sensors, I believe, are a bit cheaper to buy, just because the sensors are smaller. But if you're planning to do nighttime or low light photography, crop sensor will not be it. If I were you, just save up a few money and get yourself at least a basic full frame, either mirrorless or DSLRs. There's no preference, to be honest. If I'm being honest, all I can tell you is that DSLRs are just bigger and bulkier, and mirrorless are just compact and lighter. But yeah, make sure you get yourself a full frame. And I got her full frame camera just because I was planning to get it for her for her birthday, but she was telling me how she was getting booked for next month, for the end of this month, and for September. And I believe she has a gig coming up this weekend. So I was like, whoa. And so I was like, fuck it. I mean, I can see that she's really dedicated to this, and probably getting her a full frame would ignite something, probably spark a creativity in her, just because she was probably limited to the crop sensor, which was not allowing her to take low light. I mean, it's possible, but you just gotta drop your shutter speed, which is yeah, which is gonna make it difficult. You either gonna have to bring a tripod or have a steady hand, or else the cam or the images is gonna come out like a bit blurry. Unless if you're going for that, then go ahead. But that's all I gotta tell you. um, but yeah, honestly, I'm still not sure. I don't know. I'm really just this whole podcasting is pretty interesting, if I can say so. Um, I'm really excited to what this has to come. I'm just doing this just because I wanted a hobby, and also, or I wanted a different hobby, and also because I always wanted to do a podcast. I remember back in university, it was my second year, so 2018 of my second year in university. My roommates, they were talking about having a podcast, or all four of us were like, oh, one of them was like, hey, like we should have a podcast and call it like stupid shit, and just talk about stupid shit and whatever comes in mind. And we were all on board, but it never happened, and that kind of sparked um I guess my interest in podcasts. And then as I'm subscribed to like to YouTubers as well. Like this gonna sound so childish, but I really don't care. Like for example, I am Wildcat. He actually did a podcast like I believe he started it last year, and it was pretty interesting because I remember watching his videos as when I was younger, and me listening to the podcast, it feels like he's growing up with us, or we're growing up with him. Basically, it shows that he's keeping up with his audience, that we're no longer in middle school no more. We're just adults, and his podcast was pretty interesting, just talking about like adult things and like serious topics. And yeah, I really like that. I'm also subscribed to Matt Day. He's a photographer from crap, I forgot where he's from. Uh Chillicothe, I think that's the name, Ohio. Chillicothe, Ohio. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's something like that. And he has Leica cameras, which honestly is one of the cameras I want to get myself, but they're pretty expensive, so not looking forward to get one, or not looking what's the word? I'm not getting one anytime soon. But yeah, he also has a podcast which also ignited my interest because his podcast is called Archives, and pretty much it was just a podcast of him talking about photography, and that's what kind of led going back again in circles with the first episode within the frame, because obviously it was kind of like a play on words with photography and stuff like that. But as you already know, I'm probably not gonna be talking about photography in this podcast. It's just gonna be about, I mean, I called it a podcast about living life and learning, and in a way you could probably learn as well, because I want to talk about my photography journey. I want to talk about my life journey, and I guess talk about like me being a technician, an auto tech, and also talk about finance. I really do want to talk about finance, just because I feel like we all struggle as as young adults, and honestly, yeah, I wish I never bought things before, because I probably would have had I probably would have been comfortable by now. But I mean, you live and you learn, unfortunately, and the only way to at least keep going is just find different ways of make money, either getting a second job or making passive income whatsoever, doing side gigs like photography or anything whatsoever. So yeah. Um yeah, just uh yeah. I really do not know what to talk about, but I mean, also this is literally the first take. There's no take 10 or whatever. It's just, I guess I got to also break that habit of trying to make things perfect, even though like trying to break the habit of making things perfect, yeah, because obviously not everything is perfect, and especially doing a podcast, I feel like it's more better if you show the like the raw material and pretty much the unedited stuff. Just like, I guess they could the audiences can feel more connected with me, and I guess like a bit more transparency with each other in a way. But yeah, yeah. Crap, man. This is just so awkward because I literally don't have anything to talk about. But also, I mean, I'm also planning on probably having a Twitter, just so I guess I could just jump there and ask questions and stuff like that. And but I'm gonna still wait. I mean, I have the Twitter app. I just don't have a Twitter account, just because I was planning on making one. But I mean, I guess over time I'll find out what to talk about, or just stop being awkward and just talk about just whatever comes in mind and stop being awkward. But I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah. I guess I guess we could talk about habits, just because like I said, I do want to do this every Monday, but I also feel like I might just run out of things to talk about. And I don't know. Just having, even me, like, all right, going to the topic of habits, it's super easy to want to build a habit, and I think if I remember right, someone told me that it takes 14 to 15 days to build a habit, but it takes one day within the 14 to 15 day period to break that cycle and start over again from day one. And the one habit that I also want to start building is start exercising. Before I used to exercise a lot, and now I could feel myself letting myself go in a way. I don't know. I just feel really. I don't know. I just feel like I've been feeling that I think since last week. And I kind of. I'm not sure. I mean, our minds play a lot of trick on us, but I feel like I've did gain like some unhealthy weight, even though it may seem like it that oh you're pretty slim and lean, but I mean I can feel it that I'm just like I'm not liking whatever I'm feeling. And yeah, and me going to the gym is just really difficult just because I don't know. It's a habit that I need to build and especially start running because I used to have a track and field background and I used to run pretty much every day. Either for practice or just whenever I was bored and just wanted to clear my mind, I'll just go out for a run for a couple of kilometers. Or just go to the track and run a few meters here and there. And that's one habit that I want to build as well. Um, and especially me being an auto tech, like my body is taking a toll working on cars, especially like with tires and big tires. Oh man, like I could feel it in my ankles and my knees, just like they're slowly trying to give out, but I keep, just like I keep hustling because yeah, I live on my own, so yeah, I gotta make my money one way or another, and also my back, like it's I don't know, I just feel like if I exercise, it might strengthen up my ankle and my back and probably my knees. And also, I need to start stretching as well so I could keep myself flexible and have a lot more mobility. Just because I feel like my flexibility is really poor, so that's why I guess it's also hurting my back as well. Just because I guess I'm bending with my back instead of with my legs and my knees or whatever. So yeah, just remember that building a habit is not that hard, but just it just takes one day to break that cycle, and then you have to start over again. And yeah, I mean it's gonna be really difficult for me. I think I went to the gym at least once this week. Yesterday I did went to the track, but I just went to walk around and do a little bit of bleachers, just like some light work, just because my ankles were killing me that day, and I didn't feel like running and just probably messing up my ankles even more. So it's baby steps from there. Especially anyone who wants to do cardio, even though cardio is literally the most hated exercise out there by people is cardio because usually when they think of cardio they think of running, and there's plenty of different ways of having cardio. You could do like the stairmasters or whatever they're called that they have in the gym. All you're literally doing is just stepping and then stepping. It's like an endless escalator. That's a really good way of cardio. Walking is a really good way of cardio. Even though a lot of people don't see it that way, and some people might think like, oh well, I don't feel like I'm gonna benefit anything from it, but like even walking for 10 to 15 minutes is really good for your heart as well. So that's why I walked. I believe I did like 10 to 15 minutes of walking yesterday, so I felt kind of comfortable with that. What else you could do on like the row machines? I really do not know how to describe it, but it's literally you're just sitting down and you're just pulling a bar with a string and oh crap. You're pulling a bar with a string or with a rope attached to it, and there's like a fan at the end, and that's pretty much a rowing exercise. And that's a really good way of cardio. Jump roping is a really good way of a really good cardio exercise, but it also takes rhythm because jump roping, even though it might sound easy and it might look easy, it's really difficult when you're starting out because a lot of people would tend to jump really high just to go underneath the rope, even though jump rope literally the technique is just doing barely any just putting any effort in it. You just gotta do small hops and find your rhythm. I don't know how to explain it, to be honest. I'm not like a personal trainer or anything. I mean, I have a lot of I guess like high school, like I did high school track and university track as well, so I have some experience from that. Sorry about that. I have a timer on my phone for 25 minutes, and obviously the camera can only record like 30 minutes, so I didn't want to end up talking and me realizing that the camera was not recording and I was just talking out of my ass. So yeah, I put it back to 25 minutes just in case. But as I was saying, yeah, in university, I did track and field in university. So, we have personal trainers in a way, personal weight trainers. I think that's what they're called. Or, we used to be in the weight room a lot, and we had trainers for that. So they'll teach us how to do deadlifts, squats, power cleans, all these like really strong, powerful exercises. And yeah, it was a pretty good honestly, that also having that habit too, um like me, how to explain it, I'm kind of glad that I built that habit of doing track and field, because as soon as I got to university, I still had that habit of still wanting to exercise, and obviously I still had the dedication and the motivation to join the team. um but yeah, like I said, it takes 14 to 15 days to build a habit, and from there it's just going to become second nature. But within that period of 14 to 15 days, if you just somehow skip a day, then it's going to destroy it, just because then you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to start tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, oh, I'm kind of busy, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, and then tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, in a way too, like it's not good as well to exercise every single day. And the way I kind of do it, so just take like really really easy days, almost like an off day, but not really. Like I said, just going out for a walk, picking up light weights. Like even though it's gonna look kind of silly in the gym, you picking up like 10 pounds or 5 pounds or 2 pounds, like anything, even giving that stimulus of you going to the gym will still help, regardless of how much weight you're picking up. But you also gotta rest your body and take care of it as well. Because if you overwork it too much, you're not gonna build any muscle, because the muscle, they're always tearing apart. And right, and on the rest days, they're slowly building each other up and becoming stronger. And that's how people get bigger muscle, because you're constantly ripping your muscle, but they're also rebuilding themselves up and becoming bigger and stronger, so they don't rip or keep tearing apart. Even though it might sound a bit scary, but it's not that bad. It's normal, and that's how the body works. That's the best way for me to explain it. I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me. I'm not a personal trainer, like I said. I've uh I've done a lot of things, so these are all just experiences from me. And yeah, what else? Also, out of the blue, I got hit up by this one individual who wants to help me with my podcast. Honestly, that part was kind of overwhelming, not in a bad way. I wasn't expecting for anyone to reach out and be like, "Hey, do you need help?" It was I don't know, it was so overwhelming for me. But yeah, like I told her, like, yeah, like I don't mind. I did mention her, like, hey, look, I'm not monetizing this podcast, because I just wanted to make a podcast, and if it ends up getting monetized, then that'll be a different story. But she said she just wants to do it for the experiences, and she showed me her portfolio, and obviously she goes to university for it. So I was like, yeah, all right, sounds good. I mean, as long as I'm helping someone out, and they could at least put that in the portfolio, so whenever they're ready to start a career for a company or for themselves, at least they have something to show and show their worth as well. So yeah, so I'm probably gonna get her and my girlfriend to work together, just because they're both in the similar what is it? They're both in the similar field, and obviously, like, I don't want to put too much pressure on my girlfriend, just because she has her own things going on. And so yeah, so and plus it doesn't hurt to have two creative person. Yeah, there probably might be like some agreeing or disagreeing, but honestly, like it's gonna build each other's skills, as in working with others and being able to communicate as well. So I mean, yeah, that's something. I mean, I don't know how to say it. Just as long as I'm helping someone out, I mean, that's fine by me. That's a lot. I guess I get more reward out of it, knowing that I was able to at least obviously help someone out. So yeah, so I got that happen to me too as well. So I guess I'm gonna just stick with just two people and that's it. Just because obviously there's nothing big going on with my podcast, and plus I just started, so I don't have like a really big audience. Which, if I'm being honest, that really doesn't bother me as long as I'm doing this podcast because I want to do it, not because, like I mentioned before in the first episode, if I was doing it just to get more audiences, or if I was doing it for the people, sooner or later I was gonna get burned out, and that was not gonna be good because then that means I would have thrown the towel and just not just pretty much call it quits on the podcast. But this is something is it something long term I want to do with this podcast? Probably. I mean, like I mentioned, I just gotta break that bubble of me being more comfortable in front of a camera, in front of a microphone. Uh, One thing about me, I just hate being on camera. That will be a whole story, a whole episode within itself, and I guess it's gonna be something really, really um, something really. I don't know how to pronounce the word, but something like a sensitive topic, I guess, for everyone that will be able to relate. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it too as to why I didn't do a podcast last week. And I guess I don't know if there was a theme for this podcast. I mean, I try to talk about habit, even though the first half I was just rambling about whatever was going on. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time for listening as well. Not just watching. Um but yeah, like you can follow me on Instagram at within the frame dot podcast. And also on YouTube within the frame podcast, I believe I put it in as. And yeah, so you could either watch the podcast on YouTube, or you could just listen to the podcast at Anchor, Google Play, Spotify, and other streaming services that I believe not all streaming services, but you just type in within the frame podcast and it should be there on whatever you are listening to. Other than that, thank you once again and have a good one. Bye.